the minutes.
We're ready, we're live.
We're live.
Oops.
Are we ready? Call the meeting to order. Rise for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone to our February 8th official County Commissioners meeting. We will open with public comment. Is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none. Let's see, we have minutes of February 1st, 2021.
I'll move to approve the minutes from February 1st, 2021.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and second to approve minutes of February 1st, 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, let's see, mail, we
I
have
need to
the,
sign that.
no, huh?
Do I need to sign that or?
No,
No, just you, right?
the Rural Montana Magazine. Payment from the Family Medical Clinic and a payment from Bill Fleiner. Have payroll claims in the amount of $183,024.09.
I'll move to pay payroll claims in the amount of $183,024.09.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to pay payroll claims and set them out. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, let's see. We're a little bit ahead of schedule here, but sign the letter of intent to the Bureau of Reclamation to negotiate Silos Recreation Management Agreement with Broadwater County. Has everyone looked this over? Got any questions on it?
I don't. I think the letter looks fine to me. I do have the contact information, Corey, for that head.
Yeah, I'll just address the commission on it real briefly. So, just for everyone's, I guess, and for the public. So, we have a 10-year agreement with Bureau of Reclamation. It doesn't expire until end of February of 2023. But the agreement says if we want to renegotiate it anyway, we have to give them 2 years' notice. So, the purpose of this letter is 2 years before its expiration for the county to discuss with the Bureau of Reclamation. And I worded it so that it could be either we just update the agreement, or could be if in the course of the discussion the Bureau of Rec takes it over from the county. That we didn't indicate any preference. We simply said we don't want to automatically renew it we want to have that discussion with the Bureau of Reclamation. So I provided a draft letter to the commission. I have several copies here if anyone wants any. We just need to do the letterhead, and then there's a specific person, addressee, that it needs to be addressed to, and Commissioner Fulford will give that to me. So if you guys approve it, I would recommend give me probably till the rest of the day to do a, well, actually, you don't need me to edit it anymore. You can just put in the addressee if you want and put it on
Okay.
your letterhead and sign it.
All right,
So, okay.
that's what we'll do.
So I guess we'll have a motion to sign this letter once we have installed the address block, the dates, and the signature block. And then, do we send it to the BOR, or does it go to
Yeah,
Denver or Billings?
Actually, he sent me, the information. I think it's going to Billings.
Okay.
And then, copies also to the local, manager as well, so.
I would move to accept the letter once it's completed with the address and date to the Bureau of Reclamation.
I will second.
The motion's been made and second to send the letter to Bureau of Reclamation addressing the renewal of the management contract for the Silos Recreation Area. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. So we're at 10:15 for a public hearing. I guess we could do some updates. Let's see, we had the interviews for the two managers at the Silos Recreation Area last week with the review committee. Went through that, spent two afternoons, an afternoon and a morning on it. And a couple of Zoom meetings. That was about it.
We all three also attended the weed board meeting last week.
Let's see. We also attended the a cybersecurity meeting last Thursday, which is going to be important for our county and our employees, especially this where we seem to be getting lots of folks trying to get into our emails and things like that. So we're going to start a program with all of our employees. Hopefully they will enroll. And one of the reasons behind this is it does help with our insurance. We have a cyber security program in place. It helps with our insurance and also helps in our grants. There's a box that you need to check when we apply for grants that says that we have a cybersecurity policy in place, and so this will help take care of that as well. Let's see, we had a safety meeting last week too at 3 o'clock. Wasn't attended as well as it could have been, but we do have an active safety program in our county, and we need to get more and more of our folks involved in that. That also helps to reduce our mod factor, which helps us have a lower insurance rate. I attended a fair board meeting last Thursday, and the fair board is intending to move ahead with the fair this year. They're making plans to have a fair, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And also between the fair and the rodeo board, we're looking for them for a recommendation to what their first project would be to use the master plan that was created out at the fairgrounds. And I think right now they're both agreeing that the bathroom upgrade would be the direction they want to go, but we're still waiting for that formal recommendation from them before we can proceed on that. I did attend a meeting for the Big Sky Rail Passage that is being proposed, and that project seems to be moving forward. It's surprising that we're gaining support from outside the state. We've had supporters from Washington and also surprisingly some supporters out of California that want to help us with this project, and they're considering a multi-state rail commission to help us do that. So we'll see how that goes. Reality is that project is probably quite a ways down the road, but this is the beginning phases of that, where we need to get all of our bylaws in order and things of that nature. So I guess we'll keep you posted as things move ahead with that.
We also received a invitation from the Montana Department of Transportation to participate in a review of the plans for the rest stop proposed for the Three Forks Junction area. That'll take place in Bozeman. And then we also have semi-annual MACO meeting in Butte. What's the 25th, 26th, and 27th of February?
Correct. We need to make sure we put that on our agenda. Yeah. We will be in Butte. Mike? Corey?
Yes, Corey.
When is that review on the rest stop? When's that going to be?
March 26th, I believe.
The 18th at the Department of Transportation building off of 19th, is it?
I believe they haven't given us the place yet.
Oh, they haven't, that's right, or a time, but
Or a
they
time.
did give us a day.
They
did
gave us the
not?
day, yeah.
Okay.
Corey, but I did forward your concerns. There was a comment period for the commission, and I did forward your concerns.
A little more politically correct.
Yeah, I did. I tried to put it as much as I could, and so they are aware of that.
Okay, and that's the 26th.
I think.
We'll get that, I guess.
On the week of 23rd, I'm probably out of the office. I'm having sinus surgery, and they're telling me don't go anywhere. But I don't know, maybe someone from the sheriff's office may want to attend that, or at least give you input before. It's going to be basically the same input I gave you, I think. They're worried it's just going to become a net negative rather than net positive for the county. I don't know if it's low enough, but you want us to look at that.
Okay.
I'll forward that email to you, Corey. I'm not sure on the day.
Okay. Like I said, I know I can't attend, but maybe let Winter Brandon go if they want to.
Okay, so we will close the commissioners' meeting and open the public hearing for the early payoff of bond investment loans. I'll read this resolution here. This is a resolution requesting early payoff of two Board of Investment loans. Whereas the Broadwater Board of County Commissioners has recommended paying off two Board of Investment loans early, whereas the balance of the loans are as follows: building purchase loan number 2863-01, balance of loan on February 15, 2021, $147,781.54. Building construction loan number 2604-01, balance of loan on February 15, 2021, $11,916.59. Whereas the loan agreement provides for early payoff if 90 days prior notice is given to the Board of Investment, whereas the Board of Investment was notified on October 13, 2020 of Broadwater County's intention to pay off the loans, whereas hospital investment loan funds have been returned to Broadwater County in the amount of $492,872 and have been determined to be non-restrictive. These funds are proposed and are available for this purpose. Therefore, now be it resolved that Broadwater County requests distribution of funds from the returned hospital investments funds to pay off the 2 Board of Investment loans early. That the Commission hereby approves resolution and authorizes payoff of the 2 loans in the amount of $159,698.13. So is there any public comment on the resolution?
Anything online, Helen?
Is there
No, no,
no comment? Okay.
they're leaving. You wanted to know where she was. They're leaving.
So there's no public comment, so we will close the public hearing and move to the decision to adopt the resolution to pay off of 2 Board of Investment loans. So is there commissioner comment?
I guess this is something that we've been working on for a long time, since October. And part of the reason that we would like to do this is it save the taxpayers approximately $31,000 in interest that we would not have to pay. Currently, this money that we're planning to use would normally be invested, but at a 0.3% interest rate, it would make sense for us to pay off our higher interest rates and, with those funds. Also, we're trying to get the county in a position where we're debt free. This would help do that and reduce the impact on our general fund. So those are kind of the reasons behind that. Also, Corey, you've looked at this resolution and you're good with it?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's all I have. With that, then I guess I would make a motion to adopt a resolution to for early payoff of the 2 Board investment loans.
Is there a second?
Excuse me, I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the resolution for requesting early payoff of 2 Board of Investment loans. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Well, there's one other reason too. The interest rate gets negotiated yearly in the month of February for these loans, and that's will currently happen after February 15th. So this is another reason we wanted to get this done before that interest rate gets renegotiated.
Okay, 10:20 department heads update. Debbie Kelly is out sick and we'll have to reschedule her, so we will move on to Doug Ellis, Broadwater County Treasurer.
I just printed up some reports that show what our cash is in the county. Provided the commissioners with it earlier today. I have a couple more if anybody would like one. Basically, it's just kind of what I go over at the end of the month and give to the commissioners. It shows right now our investments, not counting the 492,000 that was from the Broadwater hospital loan. Our investments right now are $4,234,000 just in CDs and bonds, and we also have $2,916,644 in our First Premier Bank Trust, which is for the trust board. In STIP right now, we have a pretty good amount in STIP, mostly because of the school bond. These are December figures. We haven't balanced with January yet, so in December, we had $30,353,656.39 in the STIP account. $20,753,028 of that is the school bond amount. So that leaves the county's amount at the end of December was $9,600,628. That is about it for the cash flow that we have just in our office right now. Just to give you an update, we are working right now through the NVRA process, which is how we get the voters in Montana votes that are inactive. We have to take them out of Montana votes. And it's a pretty lengthy process. Chantel's working on that. Otherwise, we just opened up for no appointments. We've got a drawer full of titles, and I'm expecting a bunch of people to come in and start doing motor vehicles and driver's licenses. Staying pretty busy with taxes and clerk and recording. Right now, we have someone in our back room that's digitizing our records for us so we can put them out on the web and give people a little better way to access the deeds and the documents that we have on the clerk and recorder side. So looking forward to that. Other than that, we're just busy doing the everyday work that comes in. Kind of trying to get over COVID and get back to normal if we can. One thing that I'm not sure if the public's been made aware of, we have about 3 forms in our office for driver's license renewals. They can be done over the mail. It's a 2-year renewal. And I'm not sure of all the particulars on it. We have the forms in the office. If anybody can't get an appointment and needs to get their driver's license renewed, that is an option for them. Other than that, I think that's about all I have to report, unless anyone has any questions.
Well, I know we've been working on, I keep saying this to everybody, our website was supposed to have been available to us this week, but they pushed us back 1 week. So we'll patiently wait for that to roll out. But part of that will be the ability to pay online for taxes. Is that correct?
That's correct, yep.
Yep. So
And we already have a few taxes coming in that are being paid online, but it wasn't widely publicized on our tax bills because of the
right.
website being changed. So next year it will be on the tax bills, and
Okay.
people can see it and pull it up and pay their taxes with their credit card online.
All right, perfect. So hopefully it'll be a simple process from our website standpoint. There'll just be a link there to click a button, and it should take you to the correct place. And
Yep.
hopefully that'll be a great service for some folks who don't have to come to the courthouse to do that anymore. And
Yeah,
We'll see how
looking
that
forward
works
to that.
yeah. Recently, I know, Doug, you had a chance to testify on up at legislature on a bill. Why don't you go ahead and talk to everybody about that?
Yeah, the bill, and I can't think of the number of the bill right now. It was to move late registration back to the Friday, noon on Friday before the election, which would just give election administrators a chance to prepare for the election and actually run the election with no voters coming in to register, and just make it a little bit less problematic for the office and the people that work there. That bill has been, they've redesigned the bill a little bit to make it noon on Monday before the election, which it doesn't give us a lot of time. It gives us a half a day to get ready, run our reports, get our reports done for the polls, get the poll workers all lined out. But half day is better than nothing, and at least it would make it to where the voters would have to register before election day. So on election day, all we would have to do is run an election. We wouldn't have to actually register voters and hand out ballots and get ready to run an election. We'd just be doing the work that we should be doing on that day. So looking forward to seeing how that goes.
That would be helpful. Also, there was another bill that was introduced that was requiring that all election administrators to be an elected official. And the commission had an opportunity to comment on that and contact our representatives. And I believe right now that has been tabled.
That's the last I heard, is it had been tabled, and I thank you guys for contacting the legislator. You don't realize how strong your voice is. But yeah, that would be a huge expense for a lot of smaller counties, because the election administrator is, in most counties, the clerk and recorder.
Right. So
it just helps us to, on election day in our office, we have 6 people in the office. If you had to have a separate office with an election administrator on election day, you would need the same amount of people, 6 people. So it would be a huge expense to have that as a separate office. Just for that reason, the personnel right now is flexible to move from motor vehicle to elections, or clerk and recorder to elections, or taxes to elections. You wouldn't have that flexibility if we had to just hire an election administrator. It would be pretty costly.
Sure. All right, perfect. And I guess in some of these smaller counties, the clerk and recorder is not an elected position. It's an appointed position, and so then someone in that government would have to be the election administrator. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think that maybe we've got that stopped for now, and we'll see from there. So
Yep.
all right, perfect. So do we have some funds now that we're considering going into CD for another investment, or?
Not right now. We have, like I said, there was about 9 million in STIP. Our STIP interest is so close to what our CD interest is right now. I don't see any advantage to rolling those over into a CD.
Okay.
Just because in the STIP fund, it's readily available cash. We can transfer that to our bank account if we need it and when we need it. If we were to put it into a CD, it would be tied up for 3-4 years before we could get that money without a penalty and interest on it.
All right.
And normally, since November is our big tax payment month, we normally have a pretty good amount in STIP at the beginning of December. But that money gets pulled over the next few months when there's no tax money coming in. and the bills still have to go out. So a lot of that money will be transferred into the checking account to pay our monthly collections that go to Department of Revenue, Department of Justice, City of Townsend, Toston Irrigation, Three Forks Fire, Three Forks School,
Sure.
all the entities that we have to pay at the end of the month.
Okay. All right, great. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. Okay, next on the agenda is 10:30 decision to award the Silos Area Management Agreement.
Morning. So the SRA committee met and reviewed the packets supplied by both applicants and conducted in-person interviews for each. And after careful consideration and much deliberation, it's the unanimous recommendation of the committee that the Silos Recreation Area Management contract be awarded to Canyon Enterprises Incorporated.
Okay. So I guess the next part of the process then will be to, thank you, Josh, to contact Canyon Enterprises. And I know that our attorney, Steve Ward, is working on the management contract. I think that'll be available maybe this afternoon, hopefully. And we can proceed with that part of the process.
Yeah, I talked to Steve last week, and he was working on it, and he told me he felt he had all the information he needed, so.
Okay.
Do you guys need to vote to accept that recommendation?
Yeah, we will. So. Okay. I would make a motion that we award the Silos Area Management Agreement to Canyon Enterprises.
Is there a second?
I would second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the Canyon Silos Area Management Recreation Agreement to the Canyon Enterprises Incorporated. Any further discussion? I would like to make one comment. I'd like to thank all the people who sat on the committees and both the businesses that presented RFPs for their time and effort everybody put into this thing. It was I thought it was a pretty thorough review process. We went through quite a bit of material, had good discussions on all of it, I think. So I think everything was done in a pretty good manner. This is only a 2-year contract due to the fact that we have to redo the contract with the BOR. So if is there any other public comment, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, next 1040 discussion, Josh Obert, reorganizing of Road and Bridge Department.
Morning again. So when I first took over the road department, I did an evaluation of not only our financial situation, but the efficiency of how the road department is able to accomplish not only maintenance of our county roads, but also how their ability to conduct infrastructure upgrades. Right now we're currently staffed with 3 road workers and a working foreman's position. So right now, from what I've seen in the first 7 months that I've managed this group, is we're struggling to keep up with just maintenance of our county roads as it is, and even small-scale infrastructure upgrade projects, we're not able to achieve those. We end up getting called off. We have 748 miles of county road that we maintain, and right now, we saw last year a greater than 250% growth rate for the county. And if we continue to manage business the way we are, our roads will continue to deteriorate. So what I would like to propose is to hire a 5th road worker, and then to completely reorganize the road shop. I would like to split the county into 3 road districts. One from Raidersburg Highway north on the west side of the lake, one from 16 Mile Road north on the east side of the lake, and then a road district from south of the Raidersburg and 16 Mile Road district. I would like to assign a road worker to each district, so each district would have their own maintenance worker, and that road and bridge employee would be assigned just solely for that district. They'd start at one end of the district, maintain the roads to the other end, and then they'd work back through. In this way, those roads will be getting a much more attention. And because currently right now we'll work on one road and then we'll get a call from all the way on the other side of the county, and we'll have to stop what we're doing, road a $300,000 piece of machinery at 27 miles an hour to the farthest end of the district to maintain that road, to travel all the way back to try to finish the project we were working on. One such project was the Filson Road reroute and upgrade this year, and we were unable to complete that small road project because we got pulled off of it every time we got really working on it because road conditions were deteriorating in the far end of the county. The additional 2 employees would form a small project crew. 3 is kind of the magic number for working a project of smaller nature. So this 2-person crew, wherever the project is, would work in conjunction with the maintenance worker from that road district to give them the 3 workers for that project, and the other 2 districts wouldn't suffer for the project that's being worked. Currently, right now, we've ran as slim as we can on our road budget all year. We have more than enough funding to fund an additional position. Currently, this year, out of just that budget, our bridge department budget has about $47,000 annually in it, and we typically don't touch that. Most infrastructure repair that would qualify for bridges has been paid out of the road department general fund in years past, which would be culvert upgrades, etc., and they've kind of saved that money for larger bridge projects. But right now, we also have the BARSA funding that if we had a larger bridge project, we could utilize BARSA for that. So I would propose to pay 70% of the 5th person's wage out of the bridge funding, since they will be doing projects which would include culverts, and 30% would come out of the road general fund. We currently have more than enough money to be able to man this 5th person and to reorganize in-house. We have a very healthy CIP right now, just under $200,000 in CIP, to where we could purchase on a 3-year contract the 5th grader required for this move. And once again, we have enough money in-house to be able to reorganize and to hire this 5th person without asking anything more from the constituents in the county. Do you guys have any questions for me? I've talked with each of you individually at length on all this, but do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I mean, so far as for funding, I mean, your budget's looking good for this year. How are we looking into next year?
So right now, currently, we're at 32% spend 7 months into the year, so we're doing very well this year. What is assisting us and will assist us going forward is the BARSA funding that we've received from the state. It's an additional funding source. And even though we can't use that for machinery or people, we can use it for projects or general road maintenance. So that alleviates that like and kind amount out of our general fund going forward. And each year the BARSA funding has increased. This year we're looking at an additional $4,000 for 2021 over what 2020's was. So as our county grows, the proportionate share for BARSA also grows. So it is my belief that we will have more than enough funding going forward to fund this 5th position.
Are you looking at a new grader or a used grader?
This would be a new grader that we're looking at and to pick it up on a 3-year purchase agreement, so we wouldn't have to hit our CIP fully in 1 year. It would continue to allow us to roll into our CIP and then leave us a little bit of a nest egg in our CIP for emergency funding. And what we'd do is we'd take our grader that is in most need of replacement and move that to the projects grader, because it would get used less than what a maintenance worker would every day. So the new grader would go to maintenance, and our tiredest grader would go to the projects and be one of the projects graders, since it wouldn't be a daily use grader at that point.
I know one of the things that we've talked about is trying to purchase snowplow trucks rather than using our expensive graders to plow snow.
And with that recommendation this year, we actually bid on one earlier this year. We ran the bid to where we felt was competitive and comfortable, and it ended up selling for 3 times that amount. But in talking with some of the road crew guys, years ago, the county used to have to maintain Highway 284 on the backside of the lake, and they had a dump truck and a plow that they used to use for that years ago. So right now we have that set up again. It took a little bit of maintenance dollars to get it back up and running, because it hadn't been utilized in about 25 years. We had to replace a lot of the hoses. But right now, we currently have 2 plow trucks in-house. We have the old state highway department one that we had with the sander, and we now have a second plow truck. And with the dump truck that we modified to the plow truck for the winter activity is a 5th extra dump truck, so we won't have to purchase an additional dump truck to be able to run projects as well either.
So if you did want to purchase an additional snowplow truck or something, you still would have ability to do that?
We would still have the ability to do that. We're right now this year with our BARSA, we'd either designated it as our money for our Goose Bay federal grant match or road maintenance, and it doesn't look like Goose Bay project will be in full swing until spring of next year, so that frees up that amount of money that we can do general road maintenance on, which alleviates a like share in our road budget, where if we wanted to, we could pick up a snow plow and sander from either the state or on surplus.
Okay. So what's your thoughts for, say, like, I'm going to use the south end of the county because that's our furthest distance, a place where we can stage, equipment and things like that, so we don't have to continue to transport it.
In talking with TJ and Willie, they currently have a kind of a deal worked with Tim's Diesel, and they allow us to stage equipment there. A lot of the farmers do. Going forward in the future, the county owns just under 40 acres on Lone Mountain Road at the gravel pit. In the future, as we rebuild our CIP and this gets going, it would be nice to be able to put up a pole barn type structure there with power or solar, to where we could plug in. From that point, that individual would be able to drop blade and be working county roads from that part out. Every minute and every hour on that machine would be working time. And currently, right now, we have a grader with over 9,600 hours. It's my belief that at least 4,500 of that is just road hours from driving from point to point. We've wasted nearly half the amount of hours on a $300,000 piece of machinery trying to remove or road it from one location to another to work. This organization, we would drastically reduce the amount of non-working road hours on it, and it would be greater than 80% working hours.
Well, I know this kind of comes with a lot of conversations that we've had over the past 6 months, and
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad to see that we're getting to a point where we can put it into use. So
It was those initial conversations that really got me interested in not only modifying it, but to be able to do it in-house and not have to ask for more from the county. So we've run very lean on our budget up until this point to free up enough to where we can purchase that grader and be able to hire an additional employee without having to ask for more.
okay. When are you thinking you want to hire this new employee?
I believe will this have to have the 30-day comment review? If so, that would put us to the beginning of March, and I would like to open up the the applications, as soon as the vote happens, and the earlier we can get them on, the better, because that'll give us time to get the new individual onboarded and trained and certified as certified on all of our equipment. Most operators do not currently have a CDL. You have two types of operators. You have over-the-road truckers and operators that'll carry a CDL, and then you have construction equipment operators, which usually don't carry a CDL. The sooner we get them on, the quicker that we can onboard them and have somebody that meets all of our certification requirements.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I know at one time that, you know, the thought was that you were planning to use your CIP to do some building upgrades down at the county shop. So everybody's willing to forego those for now to go down this path?
I think the greater need is, once again, the county is only able to we're treading water just conducting maintenance. We struggled with any of our infrastructure upgrades. The Crow Creek Drainage Project is a perfect example. That's been ongoing for several years now, and we're roughly half done on it. The Filson Road upgrade was fairly shocking to see how little time we actually get for infrastructure upgrade. And with the growth rate in the county, I do believe that dollars spent would be much more of value to reorganize our road department and then hold off on our infrastructure upgrade.
Okay. I know we talked about establishing some gravel pits and doing some crushing. Go ahead and talk to us about that a little bit.
Earlier this year, when I first started on, we actually set aside and budgeted for $60,000 in raw material costs, so that's already currently in our budget. We have purchased some steel out of the raw material budget, but we're sitting at greater than $59,000 in our raw material, and we'll be able to utilize that for crushing. Or we'll be able to utilize it under BARSA for road maintenance, and then we'll be able to roll that money from the raw materials to CIP to help purchase the grader.
All right, good. When it comes time to do the flat project at Goose Bay and do that crushing out of there, how are we going to do that?
So right now, Western Federal Land still hasn't signed the contract. It's looking most likely middle to the end of February when they'll sign the contract. At that time, we'll establish a timeline for that project to go on. And when we establish that timeline, we'll choose 2021 to do all of our prep work, which would include the large amount of crushing, ordering of culverts, and we may even be able to late season put in some of the culverts that'll be required for the new Goose Bay paving program. But 2021 will be prep work with the actual, most of the dirt work and the paving starting spring of 2022. But it's the reason why that project is slipping is because our contract hasn't been signed. And if we were to do any amount of work now, the county would own whole cost of that instead of our 25% proportionate share.
Correct. Good. I know we've had people talk to us about using all that dredgings that are down at the silos for crushing. I guess in order to do that, we probably have to jump through some hoops to do something like that in that area, right?
Mobilization cost is really it's the biggest dollar amount. And if right now we have the intention on crushing again at Lone Mountain Pit, and then we'll have to look at Galt's property on the east side of the lake for the Goose Bay project. But every time you have to move the mining equipment to crush, you incur a significant amount of money. I think we'd be money more well ahead to crush in the two areas that we've listed and crush in bulk, and then be able to do some hauling from those pits in different directions.
Okay, sounds good. I guess I'm just thinking about if the time does come to do that, maybe that would be probably better used for projects in that area. But since it's not an open pit, it's all above ground, we probably wouldn't need permitting for that, would we? How does that work?
I'm not sure. I would have to request. I've actually got a meeting with Carl Yakowitz on Tuesday at 1 for the FLAP grant proposal for paving the silos, the road on the silos. So at that point, I can talk with the engineers and see what their recommendation is, and to see if we would have to have a permit, since we're not truly mining. We would basically, if we chose to, would be crushing surface ground, or basically stockpiled material.
Right. I know the state expressed an interest in it possibly when they do their
Highway construction
highway
program.
construction project. So
Yep.
I think that's still a ways off, but something
Yes,
for
sir.
us to keep in mind. Okay.
When you excuse me, when you talk about paving the silos, explain exactly.
This was just an email that I received late last week that now the Bureau of Rec is wanting to work in conjunction similar to the Goose Bay project to pave. It's still very early stage. I haven't met with the Great West. Like I said, the meeting with them is tomorrow, so I'll be able to report back with a lot more detail then. But as of this point, I don't know the extent of that project. Like I said, I just received first email on just expressed interest from the BOR on Friday.
Josh, you talked about a staging area down south of the county at Tim's Diesel.
Mhm.
Is there a staging area now over by Goose Bay, that end of the lake or that side?
We have one right now that Plymouths right on Duck Creek allow us to park a grader there. Most of the ranchers around here have worked and are good with the county parking their graders there overnight. And Flynn's on the corner of Dry Creek and Flynn Lane, where they allow us to stage equipment there. And so we would utilize that within district to really cut down on the amount of unneeded travel time for this equipment. The non-working road hours they're killing us on these $300,000 machines. It's too expensive to be running them and not working them.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the other things I would like to look into in the future, it's not part of this proposal now, but on a Sunday, if we would be able to have 2 hours a week to have somebody come in and perform just general grease and PM on our machines. During the busy time, our operators try to operate up to the last minute each day, and these very expensive pieces of equipment aren't getting maintained as they should, because with a basically 3.5 person road crew, with as many miles of road as we have and as many people traveling on the roads as we do, they spend their time working the roads. And so they get greased and maintained, but most likely not at the maintenance level that a high dollar piece of equipment like that should. But that's kind of a proposal for farther down the road. Any other questions?
So when you get into winter time, are you just gonna have that other person snow plowing?
Right now,
You won't have projects?
the projects crew would work in tandem with whatever district is hit the hardest. Currently, after this storm this weekend, the west side of the lake and the south district didn't incur near as much snow as what the east side of the lake did. Our mountain roads there got hammered pretty hard. So they would be kind of our flex backup crew. They would either utilize the graders or they'd be able to use our plow trucks to run to the farther end of our counties and really be able to assist those maintenance workers in that district. It should open up our bus routes quicker and allow the rest of the maintenance workers to be able to open more roads quicker. But I hesitate to assign them to any one place. I'd rather use them as basically a quick reaction force for the county for additional snow removal. And a lot of it would be they'd be planning their projects for the next season and ordering material and then being able to help out with the rest of the maintenance.
Okay.
Any other questions for me?
Yes, Corey.
So when you talk about organizing them into road districts, is that just a management?
Just the management, nothing on paper
Okay, I
or
was gonna say,
distinct.
because I think if you go to a formal road district, it does change some things.
And that's why I labeled it road district and not maintenance district, because a maintenance district, what we learned was sitting down with Great West, has a much different legal connotation than just establishing a road or
Yeah.
road
But even
district.
as a road district, for
Yeah.
example, if you create or abandon the county road, you have to have petitioners from that district.
Okay.
It's a formal road district within the county. Right now, I think our whole county is the road district, right?
This
So even
would,
if you just call it management or
a management area.
Whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. This is your area of responsibility. But
Yep.
if you want to go to a formal road district, then the commission would have to do that.
I'm not, it was never my intent to create and establish hard lines. Like any like any new program, we'll have to work it. On the west side of the lake, they have they have fewer road miles that are county roads than that, so we will probably have to change our boundary lines as we go by to see which district needs the most attention. But no, it's not my contention to make formalized districts.
Got it.
I think that's come up in some of
It
the,
has.
Yep.
some of the things that we've encountered here lately. Yeah.
Now, I think even like if you have a formal road district, is that, and the revenue we receive, the gas tax revenue per county miles, can it only be used for maintenance and that? I'm not sure if it's restricted or
Oh, I
not.
don't know that for sure either.
I'd rather not get into all that.
Okay.
Maybe use the word area instead
Yeah.
of district.
Road area. Whichever legal title, we're non-legally binding title, we would like to label each area as what they would be established in.
Well, I guess I'm excited, Josh, to see you implement this, and I do think it's going to be a benefit to our citizens and the service that they receive, and so.
I think the roads will see much more maintenance, and it'll allow us to start doing some much-needed infrastructure upgrade. We haven't been able to do near the hauling on our county roads that they really require, but usually the roads that end up getting an infrastructure gravel haul on them, it's because they're falling apart, and they're absolutely, by that point, they're terrible to drive on, and we struggle to even maintain them at that point. It'll be a slow process, since this, in my opinion, this probably should have been established numerous years ago, but it'll allow us to start making some headway and to match the growth rate of the county.
I guess something I just thought about that we were planning to do last year and we didn't get it done because of the COVID thing messed it up. We're going to try some chemical solutions on our shoulders. So have you worked with Jessica?
Yes, I have. I talked with her more about the chemical mower, and with that, we're slated to try that product out this year, and that would be of great benefit, because once again, we have 3 dedicated road workers and a working foreman. In order to mow without the chemical mower, we lose one of our 3 road workers, so we have 2.5, and then we have 1 employee and a mower. So with this, we'll try a couple small stretches with the chemical mower and see how well it works. And from that point, if we see success, then it'll be something I'd be very interested in doing.
I know the window's a little bit limited on that in the spring where we have to get that done.
Yep, precipitation plays a huge part in the ability to use that.
Okay. Perfect.
I think your plan is going to save time, money, staff hours, and wear and tear on equipment. It'll be so much more efficient.
Remodeling it this way is very similar to how the large global oil and gas industries have. They have a maintenance group, and then they have a projects group. And when you try to take one group of people to perform both, you end up with subpar performance in each. And when our county was much smaller and we had many fewer people driving our roadway, it was a lot easier for this same group of people to be able to keep up. Our county's grown exponentially in the last even 10, if you looked at the 10-year growth rate, we've doubled and almost tripled in size in 10 years, and our county road department hasn't grown and hasn't changed with that growth rate.
I know here recently that you've had some challenge with our road because of the nice weather we had. Normally our roads, once they freeze down, we don't have to worry about, corduroys and things like that.
The
And,
40 and 50 degree temperatures
Yeah.
during the day, and then the freezing weather at night, it's just made the roads fall apart. And I truly feel for all the citizens that call in with road complaints. I drive out and check each one whenever we get a complaint, and they're right. But at this point in time, the roads are hard enough that we can't really do anything with them. If we try to grade and maintain them now, we break all the fines loose, the road binding agent loose, and the only way we can effectively work a road is if we were to water it. And obviously watering a road when we have freezing temperatures at night is probably not the best idea.
Well, it is. And the other thing that happens is that if you do get those fines laying on top of the road and it does snow and you go to plow, then many
Blows
times
them off in the
it
ditch.
ends up pushing them off into the ditch and we lose them, so. Anyway, I guess we appreciate the efforts that you've done. I know you have been out and done a little bit of grading and tried to fix some of them the best that you can.
We've
so.
capitalized on some days where it was really warm and had a little bit of precip. We've tried to hit the worst areas, and once again, I do feel for the constituents out there. Lower Deep Creek Road that I live on is one of those ones that is suffered greatly from the warm weather during the middle of the day and the cold temperatures at night.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Thank you,
you.
Josh.
Thanks, Josh. Is there anything else to be brought forward to the commission?
I have a public comment on here.
Okay.
Ed Schindel says, I have a person with a car he wants to get rid of. How do we do this? And then he said he wants to donate to the fire for extrication training.
I guess I didn't hear that.
Ed Schindel says he has a person with a car he wants to get rid of and wants to know how to do that.
Oh,
And that he wants to donate it to fire for extrication training.
okay. I think probably get a hold of Michelle, right? Michelle Beebe. She administers our jump vehicle program.
Okay.
And then Mike can haul it if it needs to be hauled.
Okay.
And go from there. But if I remember, part of that is that it can't have a current license on it.
I think that's what it is,
I think
yeah.
that's one of the caveats. There's something that, but she can tell them what that is. So.
The other one is it can't run, too. It
Oh, okay.
can't have a license on it, it can't run.
Okay. There you go.
And then one more comment, Cheryl Campbell says, I'm very pleased with the thought and planning Josh Ober is giving to his department.
What was that? Sorry.
You got a compliment.
Oh.
Right on. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. I don't
Okay,
have
so
anything-
seeing, what's
I
that?
don't have anything else.
Okay, seeing that, we will adjourn at 11:03.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate you coming over.
Looking at maybe Wednesday afternoon for interviews.
Whatever.
Well,
Who wants to be in on